artificial
Hello.
intelligence,
Can you
and
hear me?
I'm really
Can you hear
excited
me?
to welcome him on stage. Is he ready?
Good.
Artur, are you ready?
Hey, hey. Hello.
Yeah. Please welcome.
So yeah, hello everyone. My name is Artur Kiulian. I'm a partner at a Los Angeles-based venture studio, and I am from a completely different world, even though I'm an engineer myself. So what we do, we help early-stage startups build products, technology products using machine learning, artificial intelligence, all other buzzwords. So my slides won't be technical. You won't see any graphs or inception frameworks or anything like that. And majority of my work is actually focused on bridging the gap between the business and engineering technology. Though my content surprisingly well works with super technical engineers that want to understand how to actually apply that technology and build a real business around it. So we all know there is plenty of hype right now in the industry, and there are different things happening. Even venture funds tend to say that if your startup is not AI powered, you're probably lagging behind and all that stuff, which is partially true. You have to understand what's happening in the industry overall to be able to build successful business in the next 5-10 years. So hype is here. And the money is here. There were almost 700 deals in the past year invested into AI startups. And there are more and more venture funds that are focusing specifically on artificial intelligence and machine learning. And big corporations, big companies like Toyota are creating separate venture funds, venture labs that are focused on investing into artificial intelligence startups. The recent Toyota fund is a $100 million venture fund focused exactly on that. Also, Ford recently announced a $1 billion venture fund focused on self-driving and artificial intelligence. So money is definitely there, and more of it is coming. And guess what? Giants are also here. With DeepMind recently beating the Go player, with IBM Watson pushing the boundaries of curing cancer, with Microsoft Research pushing the general artificial intelligence, and of course Facebook AI research trying to keep us in the Facebook app for longer. Just kidding. They are working on really serious problems and really complex things like chatbot negotiations that were mentioned today, and overall natural language analysis. That, of course, keeps us in the Facebook app for longer. So before you are jumping into that artificial intelligence hype and trying to pitch your AI-powered startup, you have to truly understand what are the domains and what are the actual benefits of using artificial intelligence. So one of the most popular benefits is a competitive advantage. And competition is definitely a driver of innovation, and artificial intelligence provides companies with a way to structure their companies around something truly defensible, truly intelligent, and something that doesn't exist in the market. A good example is a hedge fund, Bridgewater Associates, that attempts to build internal software operation system that fully automates the daily management across the firm. And it already manages meetings, it already provides tasks to the employees, all that stuff. You can only imagine how much powerful that hedge fund is on the competitive landscape in the span of the next 5 to 10 years. Better insights. I mean, we all heard that search for insights during the last hype of big data, especially business people. Now it's becoming more real because artificial intelligence and machine learning is providing us a way to actually tap into those humongous data sets that are being stockpiled for years and just waiting for us to actually use that data. And besides the appearance of insights, there's also an important metric of speed to insight. Because it doesn't matter if you've uncovered some insight after 10 other competitors already did that. One great example is a really cool showcase how an autonomous satellite vehicle by NASA ordered taking pictures of the erupting volcano before anyone even noticed that, which is huge because those things tend to take weeks for engineering teams to actually predict and send satellites to take pictures of that. Internal efficiency. There are more and more companies that are structuring themselves around the notion of artificial intelligence. Even Google recently announced that they are becoming the AI-centered company. Besides Bridgewater Associates hedge fund, there are many more companies. There is Goldman Sachs that 20 years ago, they had over 600 traders that kept trading stock and equity. Now they have a couple of equity traders, and the rest of work is completely supported by the algorithms and machine learning, and software developers, of course. Enhanced R&D. When we're talking about machine learning and artificial intelligence, there is also a potential to create truly new experiences and products and that haven't existed before. One of the examples that I really like to showcase is the Replica app, which was created as an attempt to bring back someone who died through the chatbot interface. And those things simply didn't exist a few years ago. Now, with the advances of natural language processing and the chatbots and all the frameworks for that, we are able to create truly new experiences for businesses and consumers. And of course, cost reduction. Human time is expensive, resources are expensive, and if we are able to reduce that expense of resources, we are onto something to dramatically better our business. And one of the examples is how Google DeepMind used their machine learning framework to actually optimize the use of resources of their data centers. And as you see on the graph, that's the one of the graphs that they provided when they turned off the machine learning control of the data centers and turned it off, which has seen dramatical increase in efficiency. And those systems can't be controlled by humans because they operate on thousands of parameters, thousands of models that are centered about individual data centers and their environments. External processes. When we are talking about supply chain management, there are so many enhancements that machine learning can provide to create prediction models, the models that can predict and forecast the demand and supply of those management systems. So definitely a lot of benefit in there. Human assistant. Something that was mentioned today on the main stage is the augmenting of the human processes within the organizations and making sure that we're not doing some routine, mundane work and actually focusing on something that we have better qualification to create. I mean, there will be a whole load of middle management that will be transformed by artificial intelligence, and the human assistance and the artificial intelligence augmentation is definitely one of the hot topics right now. Knowledge preservation. The history of knowledge preservation goes back to the cave drawings and books, and with the recent advances with the computation and the presence of Excel and Google Docs, it all has been changing, and machine learning has a huge potential to actually redefine how organizations and humans create, store, and work with that knowledge. One of the great examples is we've all experienced that disappearance of knowledge when one of the key people leaves the company. So artificial intelligence has a potential to solve that problem and make sure we never lose that core competent data that exists in human minds right now. Systems of intelligence is a fairly new concept that has been circulating around the venture funds right now. And the concept lies in the notion of having defensible moats around your business. We all know that that it doesn't cost anything to spin up servers on Amazon to build mobile apps. Right now, everyone can prototype things very quickly. So when the startup comes to venture funds, the first question they get is what's defensible around your strategy, around your product, and around your business. And 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it was engineering resources, ability to create software. Now they ask for something deeper, and that is systems of intelligence, something proprietary, something that you place between systems of engagement, which is your mobile app, your web app, your chat interface, and the systems of record, those CRMs, data management platforms, and enterprise resource planning systems. So basically, it's a layer of intelligence that communicates and extracts that unique insight between those layers. And this is something that is very hard to replicate, even if you have lots of venture funding, lots of resources as an organization. And of course, there are a lot of fears and myths around the industry and artificial intelligence. And the one that you all know is people saying that it's a hype. The reason is there were a couple of periods of so-called AI winters. Who's familiar? Who knows what's AI winter? Raise your hand. Yeah, so basically, those were the periods where there was hype, certain amount of hype, and there were some expectations for AI solving business problems and providing benefits to the society. And unfortunately, due to the limitations of computation, resources, presence of data, all those expectations didn't really come to life. So a lot of people have strong beliefs that we're currently experiencing representation of one of those AI winters. But I hear a lot of pitches from startup founders that claim that their startups are AI powered and have no idea what's that. But it doesn't mean that there are no real applications and real performance of machine learning within the industry. It's too early. A lot of people think that artificial intelligence doesn't really put off into its promises, that we really need that artificial general intelligence. Who knows what's artificial general intelligence? Yeah, so basically, that's a form of that 4-year-old child that will potentially rule the Skynet. But yeah, so people think that we truly need that AGI in order to solve business problems. And most often, we don't. There are specific sets of problems where we can provide tangible benefits to businesses and build viable products on top of without understanding the whole notion of the world and understanding how humans work and all that stuff.